6-2 Day 1, Sum and Difference Formulas. Your learning goal is that you will be able to prove and apply trig identities. This section we're learning more identities, so please keep your index cards handy so you can learn the sum and difference formulas for cosine and sine and the sum and difference formulas for tangents. So these formulas help you when you are finding exact values, when you're adding and subtracting cosine, sine, and tangent values. First example, we're going to find the exact value of each expression. I'm going to start off with the cosine, and you look at if it's a sum or difference. So this is a difference. So you're going to follow the difference formula for cosine. So you just follow the formula. So you do cosine of the first angle times cosine of the second angle. And it's always opposite of the formula. So since it's minus, you do plus. Let me write it over here. Plus sine of the first angle times sine of the second angle. And from here, you're going back to your values from your unit circle. So if you did the left-hand trick, you use the left-hand trick. Or if you did, if you know the unit circle. So I'm doing, I'm going to start off with cosine of 120. And so if you remember, 120 is the same as 60 degrees. And that ordered pair is 1/2 and square root of 3/2. But over here, the difference is it's negative. So cosine of 120 would be negative 1/2 times cosine of 45, that's square root of 2/2. Plus, now you do sine of 120, that's square root of 3/2, but it's positive, times sine of 45. And now you just simplify. So multiply straight across, we get negative square root of 2/2 over 4 plus square root of 6/4. And we usually write it as one single fraction. You can write it like this, or you can write it with a positive number first. And you're done. And you could do the same thing if it's in radians. It could be in radians or degrees. And then let's do a sine. Okay, sine is a little different now. So with the sine, this is the difference formula. You do sine of the first angle times cosine of the second angle. And you don't change the sign, so it's still minus. Cosine of the first angle times sine of the second angle. So everything is flip-flop with sine. All right, I have my ordered pair still up there. So sine of 60 would be square root of 3/2 times cosine 45 minus cosine of 60 times sine of 45. It's almost like the same answer. So you get square root of 6 over 4 minus square root of 2 over 4. Remember, we usually write it as one single fraction. And then that's your answer. Okay, in this particular example, the expression is the right side of the formula cosine, and that symbol is, we usually call it alpha minus beta. If you can't draw it correctly, it's okay. So first we're going to identify what is alpha. Because remember, in our formula, this is how it looks. So according to our formula, the alpha, the first angle, is 50 degrees. And beta, which is the second angle, is 5 degrees. Okay? Part B, write the expression as the cosine of an angle. So they want us to write that whole expression so it looks like this. So if I just plug everything in, it'll be 50 minus 5, which is equal to cosine of 45 degrees. Part C, find the exact value of this expression. Well, if you remember, 45 degrees, that ordered pair is square root of 2 over 2, comma, square root of 2 over 2. Cosine is the x-coordinate, so that's your answer. Now, what if they only give us one value and not two? So, and they want us to find the exact value for cosine of 15. Well, what you do is you try to figure out some reference angles that'll help you add or subtract to get to 15. And what I think about using my reference angles, that's 30, 45, and 60. I got to figure out how can I make a combination of 15. So I know that 60 minus 45 would give me 15. So I'm going to use these two and use the difference formula. Okay. And so remember, according to that formula, you do cosine of the first angle times cosine of the second angle plus sine of the first angle times sine of the second angle. Okay? And I always draw my little. So we're looking at the 45 and we're looking at the 60. All right, remember cosine are the x-coordinates. Sine are the y-coordinates. All right, so cosine of 60 would be 1/2 times cosine of 45 plus sine of 60 times sine of 45. And then you just multiply straight across. And so remember, we write it as a single fraction. And then you're done. Okay, for this last example, we're going to do tangent, and we're doing it in radians. So according to the tangent, this is difference formula. You do tangent of the first angle minus tangent of the second angle divided by 1 plus tangent of the first angle times tangent of your second angle. All right, so that means we're looking at pi over 3, which is the same thing as 5 pi over 3. That ordered pair is 1/2 and then square root of 3 over 2. So 5 pi over 3 would be the same thing, except the y coordinate is negative. Now when you find tangent, remember you have to do the y over your x. The 2's cancel, so it's a negative square root of 3. All right, so tangent 5 pi over 3 is negative square root of 3 minus pi over 4 is this coordinate. Let me move my line down a little bit so it doesn't look crazy. Okay. And so if you divide the y over the x, you're going to just get 1. Okay? And then in the denominator, you have 1 plus, and a plus and a minus make a minus, times 1. Well, actually, let's write it like this. 1 plus this. All right, so to simplify that, we have negative square root of 3 minus 1 on the top. A negative square root of 3 times 1 is just negative square root of 3, so we have 1 minus square root of 3. Now, you know you can't leave a square root in the denominator, so we're going to have to do what is called rationalizing the denominator. So you have to multiply by its conjugate. So in the denominator, you have to FOIL. So I'm going to get 1 plus square root of 3 minus square root of 3 minus 3. That's gone. And in the top, I have to FOIL that. So you get negative square root of 3 minus 3 minus 1 minus square root of 3. So simplifying it, in the denominator, we just get 1 minus 3. In the numerator, we get negative 4 minus 2 square root of 3. And I just have to keep simplifying. So then I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. So I'm going to get 2 plus 2 square root of 3. And that's your final answer.